Hello everyone. So last time I was here, I talked about Folger leaving Nijisaji and graduating, and honestly, a lot has happened since then. But I really don't want to get into that because, like, it's just more sad stuff, like the Cinder situation. But personally, I didn't even know who Cinder was until like the news started coming up, and until I saw Bao's name being mentioned with Cinder and Shadow's name being mentioned with Cinder. That's when I clicked on one of the videos to see what was happening. And then today I saw a video of Shoto like briefly explaining like how he was saying he was annoyed. He went from like upset, disappointed, pissed, something like that. And then I also found out that they were like friends through their comments or something like that. So he's upset too. So like basically, I didn't know who Cinder was until like recently, until the drama started. But I am kind of upset about Ike's graduation, and then what else is happening? Gawrgura was, I think she just finished streaming her graduation stream. So I know like in the community, everybody's super sad. Honestly, I don't. I have no feelings on Gawrgura's like graduation too, because I never like I knew of her, but her content never came up in my I guess timeline or like for you page or YouTube homepage, I guess. So I never really like watched a video of her to actually know who she was, if that makes sense. Like I know the name, like once like just say a famous celebrity, Celine Dion or Barbara Streisand, but I'm pretty sure like they existed. I don't know if they're alive or not. Honestly, they existed way before I was born. So yeah, I like the names, but you don't know, like you're not connected to them emotionally, and you don't have like all these love invested for them. So it doesn't really in fact impact you on what they're doing today. But other people are worried about it, kind of like that, basically. But prefaces out of the way, today we are doing a cave diving videos, or apparently this video that I will be reacting to is called 5 most disturbing cave videos. I am hoping they are cave diver videos because I was watching Lazy's YouTube channel. Let me see if I can find the video. Give me one second. This one right here, I saw this video and oh my god, was I obsessed. It was like 2 days ago. Also I have been away, not because like I'm mentally or emotionally not doing well. I just have some medical issues, and even not the sad kind but the embarrassing kind, so don't really need to like worry about anything. That's all. I'm seeing a doctor tomorrow, so it's gonna get better from tomorrow. But yeah, I saw this video and I was inspired to make it, but I am nowhere near as creative and as funny, and I hate editing videos, so you won't see that level of creativity with me, okay? Just want to preface that, but let's go. I found this video, 5 most disturbing cave video or caving videos. And I am just now realizing while I read this that caving is not the same as cave diving. And I read it as 5 most disturbing cave diving videos. I guess I do have dyslexia. Hopefully we don't see anything scary, anything ghost, because I hate horror. And I just made my YouTube timeline all about horror now, didn't I? Wow, good job, Lixue. Without further ado, let's get right in the video.
On
Up to
May
3
6,
minutes.
2019, YouTuber Connor Kelly posted a video of him exploring an abandoned...
I'm sorry, 2019. That's like 6 years ago now. Oh my god, that's almost 6 years to the day, I guess.
McCoy gold mine in the Nevada desert. However, what was supposed to be nothing more than a fun adventure with his family quickly turned into a disturbing experience.
Oh god.
One that would likely stay with the group for the rest of their lives.
Don't do a lot of talking at first, because there is always fear that the sound will bring down loose rocks.
The exploration of this mine started off quite normal, with the group staying silent to avoid causing an accidental cave-in, as seen by the text they put on screen.
The narrator
However,
says it.
after about a minute and a half of treading deeper into the mine, Connor noticed something strangely reflective on the path ahead.
What? There's something strange reflecting. What the hell? I'm sitting.
Do you see that reflection? They're trying to...
Oh, I am too stunned to speak. I don't want to know. Wait, are those bones? No, those are shoes.
Oh,
Is that like a fossil? Dead animal or human?
God, I want to make a
wait,
small
don't
screen.
move, Wyatt.
What they found reflecting back at them was a shoe amongst many more in a massive pile with random bones scattered throughout.
That's a bone right there.
That is so fucking creepy.
Actually, there's quite a few bones in this.
What made this pile even more odd was the sheer variety of shoes on display. Many of them were clearly very modern, while some were models that were released over 30 years ago. How could such
Y'all, this looks like a human sacrifice ring or something. Because I don't think like a bunch of people, okay, even if people got caved in over there right at that very spot, why would all the shoes be lined up like this? What the fuck did I click on? Oh my fucking god, I'm not gonna sleep at night. 24 hours awake, yay. Oh god. I mean, there's still sun outside, it's still 7 p.m. What? 7:43 p.m. in Texas. You know what? This video is 25 minutes long, 25 minutes enough for the sun to stay out. Yeah.
a random assortment of shoes end up in an abandoned gold mine in the middle of nowhere? Things took an even darker turn when the group ventured further into the cave and found a bunch of bones,
Wait,
including a
is that a
relatively
human
intact
bone?
So
spine.
this is water flowing.
Oh my god, that's a... I can't even show this on... Oh my god, maybe I should censor it. I mean, they showed it. I don't think that should be an issue. Hopefully not. Disney shows it to kids all the time. It should be fine. But this looked like a bird's face to me. Honestly, I hate bird carcasses more than anything. I just have a trauma against like dead bird bodies. But I still eat chicken and everything. I don't know. And I feel like in my life, I have faced literally all of my fears. I shouldn't be afraid. Like even dissected on a dead bird when I was 14. Biology class, don't even ask. I made it rhyme.
It is gonna be great.
Please leave.
So
Please
we
leave.
can't trust this.
You don't step any closer.
Wait, is that a dead end?
By this point, the group was growing increasingly unsettled by these disturbing discoveries, prompting them to leave the cave as quickly as possible. And that's where the original video ends, without any
thank
explanation
God.
or
Oh,
resolution.
fucking thank God. I don't
Connor
need
didn't provide
explanation.
any more
I don't need
information in the
resolution.
video's description or in the comments. He posted 4
As
more
for the
videos
cops.
after this, but none of these videos included any updates on the disturbing encounter either. So, what's going on here? One of the first
Okay, you know what? I am gonna Google Connor Kelly. You guys, I found him. I found 2 channels. They both remotely look the same. So, let's see them both. Ah, shit, that's just... that scared me. Oh my god. I am so sorry, jump scare warning. What? Okay, 5 years ago. Okay, yeah, it's the same 5 videos they uploaded. And wait, when was this video taken? 4 weeks ago. Oh, okay, so it's more recent. Why the fuck did I do that then? I should have checked that first. Oh my god, okay. I like it because I'm enjoying it so far.
First things that comes to mind is that this mine was the collection spot for a serial killer. This
Yeah,
would explain
see
both
what
the
I mean?
shoes and the bones. A top comment
Ooh. If you ever listen to the missing 411 videos, you know shoes are a major components of missing or abducted people. This sent chills down my spine.
on the video also backs this theory, stating, if you ever listen to the missing
Okay,
411
I don't know why I
videos,
do
you
extra
know
work.
shoes are a major component of missing or abducted people. This sent chills down my spine.
You know why this fucking irks me so much right now? Because just yesterday, I finished season 5 of You, the show with Penn Badley. I mean, he is hot, but he also hated the character of Joe Goldberg. And there are people who theorize that Joe Goldberg and Dan Humphrey are the same people. I am one of them. As I was watching You the first time, that's what came into my fucking mind, because Dan and Joe are played by the same character. They have the same personality. The show's both, I guess, season 1 of You and all of Gossip Girl takes place in New York, okay? And the girl he first fell in love with in the show is a blonde woman. Beck from You and Serena van der Woodsen from Gossip Girl. Just saying.
Which is true. A statistical analysis of the missing 411 data shows that over 15% of the cases involve absent shoes.
Oh, also, guys, if you have not seen season 5 of you should. Mm, I thought about reacting, but I really am not a TV reactor. I mean, I barely react to anything. I just state something, random thing. There's like great TV show reactors like the Friendly Space Ninja, Alex Myers, all of them. They all do great work and they can give like more filmy descriptions of stuff like this. But Mary Ann's character in season 5, who is portrayed by Tati Gabrielle, which I love her, like, oh my god. The way she speaks, the eloquence, it's perfect. Even as Prudence in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the Netflix adaptation of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yes. Too much sidetracking, but her speech is amazing. I love her character so much. I mean, I love the actress, literally, because the eloquence and the aura she, like, emits. Yeah.
However, this theory isn't
It's not
entirely
emits.
likely. For starters, I couldn't find any news reports regarding this mysterious pile of shoes, which is odd since judging from the number of shoes, this supposed killer would have had hundreds of victims. If this pile had such a violent history, it probably wouldn't go unnoticed by the media. More importantly, many people on the internet agree that the
Okay, clickbait, I wear kid shoes and those are not all kid shoes, not human bones either, move along. Nothing to see here. Those are not human bones with freeze frame and other clues. You can easily see that some of them are even fabricated and organic. Interesting. I mean, yeah, you could find something about this on the, I mean, that video went viral, right? Cops would see, they would do investigations and everything. Forensics would be involved. Those are not humans. Okay, yeah, we just read that. The shoes are also quite obviously recently placed in that pile. There's no dust settled on them. Just above everything in mine has a layer of dust. Though there is no evidence of rodent activity, no little bites on the shoe leather, no frayed laces, just normal wear and tear. None of the shoes have become embedded in the terrain as happens if decomposed a pair at a time over a long, I don't know, I mean, they're not plastic, so it will be faster since it's mostly fabric and rubber, I guess. Yeah. um Also, like, why was that one shoe so shiny still? Like, there should be dust. Yeah, right. Love how most of the comments are making fun of the guy's remark about not talking because it could suddenly cause it could cause falling rocks instead of possibly that there is someone out there dumping shoes, kids and teenager shoes in a remote location, even if the bones are not human, which is pretty sure they're not, or which I'm pretty sure they're not. I find it very disturbing, both the shoes and the lack of concern. I was actually too enthralled by what I was seeing to actually pay attention to what was being said. Let's continue. Let's continue.
bones in the video are not human. The group in the video reaches the same conclusion when looking at the bones for the first time.
No, it looks like a cow or a horse.
The fact
Way
that
too
they
big
know
for
the
them.
difference, I could not tell.
Put simply, the odds of this being a serial killer trophy cave are very low. But given the animal bones scattered throughout the area, it's
that was
possible
an
it was the
animal
feeding
bone.
spot of a predator like a mountain lion. Though, while that might explain the bones, it offers no clues about the pile of shoes. One theory I haven't seen anyone else bring up is that the shoes might have ended up there because of flooding. You see, the McCoy mine where the video was filmed is located in Lander County, and from what I can find, that area is quite prone to flooding. So it's entirely possible that someone dumped their sneaker collection in the middle of nowhere to get rid of it, only for it to be carried in the abandoned mine with rainwater.
See, maybe, but it doesn't really make sense because why are all of those shoes collected in the same spot instead of, being spread across? Because as the water recedes, the shoes would float around with them, right? I mean, yeah, some of the Converse and the fabric shoes would be heavy with the water in them, but the lighter ones or rubber heavy ones would like float more outwards, right? Then how the hell did they get pushed up against it so well? I mean, they just look so neatly piled up. That's what's strange.
A mountain lion could have moved in later, which would explain the bones. The only proof I have of this theory is that the ground in the deepest part of the mine is extremely wet and has water flow marks leading into it. Other
Yeah.
than that, it's pure speculation. That said, another potential explanation for both the bones and the shoes is that Connor placed them there himself in hopes of creating a viral video.
Maybe that.
People on the internet have pointed out that the bones in the video are a bit too clean for something left in a muddy cave by a predator. Some have also claimed that a few of the bones look like they're inorganic fabrications. Another inconsistency in Connor's video is that he and his group keep claiming that all the shoes in the pile
so
are
scared
kid
because I keep
sized.
watching
Adult
this.
shoes in there.
I mean, they look like adult shoes too.
He even mentioned that in the video's title, which reads, "Kids' shoes and bones found in abandoned mine." Now, while that makes an already creepy situation even more disturbing, it's simply not true. There are plenty of adult-sized shoes visible in this pile.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I doubt we'll ever know what happened here for sure. It's been 6 years since the video was uploaded, and as I mentioned earlier, Connor has vanished completely from the internet ever since.
Was it by choice though? For legal
Action
reasons, I
Adventure
should
Twins
say
is
yes.
a YouTube channel run by brothers James and Edward. The duo has been exploring dangerous and crammed caves since early 2020. Yet,
That's what I wanted to
despite their
react to.
combined experience,
I
one
just
of them
stumbled
almost
on
lost
this
his
video.
life back in 2022. In January of that year, the two decided to explore the popular Petty John's Cave in Georgia. They had already explored parts of this maze-like cave multiple times before, and had even found
See, people know they have a choice not to, right? I actually went cave diving, like, in a really thin crevice twice. Actually, once. That was earlier today when I was like trying to sneak into my car seat with my sister's car literally being an inch away from my car door. Bitch couldn't even park right. Like, what the hell? Why was it so close to the fucking car door? Like, damn. I had to like put my backpack into the other side of the passenger seat, and I thought about crawling in through there, but I was like, nope, that's beneath me. And like the family camera, the camera outside our house is watching me, so I'm not degrading myself like that. That's like trashy people shit. I don't know.
an underground waterfall during one of their expeditions.
Ooh, it's actually
Put
kind of-
simply, they were pretty
What is the okay? Why does this look so like painted on? Like, is it just the moisture that makes it look like this? Because it kind of looks like just, you know how sometimes when you paint over fresh paper just to make a volcano or something, like when kids do that volcano project.
confident in their ability to navigate through this cave. But unlike their previous
But I did go to a cave once back in Cozumel when I went on a cruise. It was so fun, and oh my god, it wasn't even a cave right this, right? That cave, literally everywhere we went, all of the cave was bigger than my room, like each room of the cave, and that was in a fucking room. It's like just the biggest hallway kind of shit. Oh my god. What we did see was like a jaguar's footprint. That's the closest thing we saw to an animal, or maybe like bats were flying around, but it was daytime so we couldn't see. And everybody took a picture except me because they all took their picture with their significant others. But I just went on a solo cruise by myself, right? And then I made a friend on the cruise, Sam, like because all the solo people, the cruise kind of had this Virgin Voyages. Love them, not sponsored, hopefully soon I will be. But they had this like meet and greet kind of thing for like all the solo travelers. So it's like, you know, people going by themselves. But this one girl, my friend Sam, if you're listening, hit me up. Fine, this is my YouTube. I'll link my Instagram, everything. Hopefully one day we can connect again because I miss you, girl, and I'm so sad we never got to exchange phone numbers. Oh god, I'm so pissed about that. She was like the seventh wheel. She was like the seventh wheel of her friend group, and just like me, she is a fruity fairy. What the hell? What are the chances? But she was also doing the same expedition, but we just happened to be in this separate groups, okay? So yeah, no pictures for me, just everybody else took pictures.
ventures, this time they were going to tackle one of the hardest sections, the aptly named Nervous Breakdown, referring to how cavers feel when going through it. Things started off just as expected.
See,
with the
now
pair going through the
that's where you
narrow
get
and
stuck.
claustrophobic
How the fuck do you
entrance
get
to
out
reach
from
the
there?
first open area of the Petty John's Cave.
You know, I just want to say, like, watching these videos, like that lazy video from previously mentioned earlier in this video, I never knew how small the human body could get. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you look at holes and you just feel like you can't fit through there, right? But these people, they make it happen. Huh?
Whoa, entrance
Okay, that looks like a
room.
fun slide. Nope, at
However,
all.
it didn't
I'm
take
not
long
touching
for the
that.
cave to begin closing back again, forcing the two to squeeze through tiny passageways.
Please just
But
go
that
back.
was only the beginning. After about 25 minutes of crawling through increasingly tighter spaces, they reached.
It's not even the cave for me, it's all the mud on their clothes. As the tourist, that irks me literally everywhere in my bone. Like, I'm not even kidding. If I touch the table and if I feel a speck of dust, I have to wash my hands 10 times with soap, and the soap should drop exactly at the point of contact that my finger made to make the sensation go away. Maybe it's Taurus, maybe it's OCD, maybe it's Virgo moon. We will never know.
The first big obstacle, a muddy room with a narrow and steep hole in the middle. They had to carefully walk around this hole to progress.
Wait,
A
you know what I'm
single slight-
thinking? Why not just like put one leg over here and the other one over here? You know what I mean?
That meant falling into the narrow hole. And
Also, shouldn't they have like hiking gear to help them, like, you know, those hiking poles that help you grapple, or like how Azula used her hair clip to like shimmy herself in the cliff so she doesn't fall to her death? Something like that. Something to give them a grip.
and possibly getting injured. And given the lack of safe footing around the hole, it
Also, look at this. It looks like a pathway. It's like, did somebody actually go through here like eons ago? And this looks like a platform. Like, this kind of looks like concrete with mud on it. I don't know.
would have been near impossible for the other person to pull them out. After successfully navigating around this obstacle, they finally arrived at the entrance to Nervous Breakdown. Unfortunately for them, things weren't looking good. The area surrounding this entrance had collapsed some time ago, making it very difficult to figure out the path ahead. After looking around for a bit, Edward
I'm sorry, Mr. Narrator. I just gotta ask, like, did they say in the video that it collapsed, or are you just educated enough to know that it collapsed? Because, nothing against you, Mr. Narrator. If they did say that it recently collapsed, why would they go there if they can tell that it recently collapsed? What makes them think it won't collapse again? You know what I mean? Ah.
eventually found the real entrance and was excited.
If I was an anime protagonist, hell the fuck yes, I would do this. Not in a cave, but underwater, you know? Or maybe depending on the power I have, maybe like, if I was an earthbender, hell fucking yes, I would do this. If I had the power to flatten my body or face through things, hell yes, I would do this. In this mortal human form, hell fucking no.
Decided to go in. He genuinely couldn't wait to find out what was down there and began his descent, leaving his brother behind in case something bad happened. What he didn't realize was that this was about to be one of the worst decisions he'd ever make. Because after descending for a few minutes,
Sorry, I'm gonna back this up a few minutes because I did not hear a thing while me talking. Okay.
and possibly getting injured. And given the lack of safe footing around the hole, it would have been near impossible for the other person to pull them out. After successfully navigating around this obstacle, they finally arrived at the entrance to Nervous Breakdown. Unfortunately for them, things weren't looking good. The area surrounding this entrance had collapsed some time ago, making it very difficult to figure out the path ahead. After looking around for a bit, Edward eventually found the real entrance and was excited to go in.
Okay, I understand what's happening, but I just want to... Who came up with these names? Like, are there people who actually went so far in to come up with these names, or did these brothers come up with the name? Okay, that's what I want to know.
Genuinely couldn't wait to find out what was down there and began his descent, leaving his brother behind in case something bad happened. What he didn't realize was that this was about to be one of the worst decisions he'd ever make. Because after descending for a few minutes, Edward called for his brother only to be met with complete silence.
I found a rope.
He found a rope. Is this it? And this? Like, you have to my pink little cursor, right? Okay, boy. But damn, is it like embedded in the wall? So I was right, like maybe there was some sort of civilization over here that actually had room to move in those caves, given how I made an analogy of that thing that looks like a analogy with observation, that thing like looks like a path. Also, he did not hear his brother call back to him. I just want y'all to picture this. In this whole cave, His flashlight is the only source of light. They are so far in that his flashlight is the only source of light. His brother is the closest human being that he knows of to him, okay? And the fact that he cannot hear his brother reply, just let this sink in. What would you do? You go so far deep into a cave. Close your eyes. Picture this. You call out to your buddy, your brother, your mama, your papa, whoever you're with, like, hey, I found a piece of rope. You're expecting some sort of acknowledgement, but you hear nothing. How freaked out would you be? Like, hey, what happened? Are you okay? Am I too far from them? Are they okay? And not speculations. I saw the rope.
I don't hear James anymore. Uh-oh.
You're still going deep?
In other words, Edward was now lost in an unknown section of the cave without any means of contacting his brother. At first, he tried to stay calm and continued his descent, hoping to find James before long. However, after staying separated for over 30 minutes, the realization set in. He knew panic was the fastest way to make a bad situation worse, but at this point, he couldn't help but feel a growing sense of unease.
Look, a little plant. Wait, why would he go down if he knows?
James!
I am so sorry. 30 minutes later. Imagine how far down you are 30 minutes later. What? What the hell?
James!
All year we're silent.
It's been like 30 minutes since I last saw him.
Oh, since he
I don't
last
even
saw him.
know where I'm at. I tried to go back to the last place I saw him, and everything just looks the same.
Another
It's
thing,
just
they should have brought a chalk or something to mark
jungle
everything.
maze.
Honestly, I thought he was just going down, so why not just go up?
After calling out to James many times with no luck, he decided to retrace his steps and find the way back. Unfortunately, he had underestimated the difficulty of the maze he was about to enter. Every direction looked the same. The narrow passages and jagged walls made it impossible to tell where he had come from. To top it all off, his situation was getting worse with each step he took. If he went the wrong way, he could easily wedge himself into a passage too tight to escape, or worse, plunge into a hidden drop-off. This is the true horror of caving. Even if he didn't injure himself, he could have just as easily wandered around aimlessly until his body gave way into exhaustion, leaving him lifeless in a cold,
yeah, those are
rocky
batteries.
crevice. The footage of him excitedly dropping into the nervous breakdown entrance would have ended with the camera recording his descent into confusion, fear, and eventually silence. Fortunately, that wasn't the end of his story.
Oh, thank
After
God.
going in loops for a while, Edward spotted a single piece of tape he saw on his way down.
Oh. The tape. Yeah. Okay, this tape.
So
looks
other
familiar.
people have been here.
Oh, yeah. This has got to be the way. I'm getting close. James! Still nothing.
This unexpected clue turned out to be exactly what he needed. It helped him regain his bearings and finally head in the right direction. Finally, he heard the best sound he could have heard in that moment.
James! Oh,
Oh, you hear him? Oh my God.
you're over here? Oh, dude,
I want to see them reunite.
this place is a maze, man.
This being a
Right,
horror
dude.
movie.
I thought we were never gonna see each other. Dude, I know. Oh.
The two stayed together for the rest of the expedition and made it out
For
alive
the
without
rest
any
of the
major
expedition.
injuries. They're still exploring caves on YouTube, but
Why?
now with a lot more caution.
18 minutes.
In January of
14 hours ago.
2014, a group of cave explorers decided to conquer the Lost
Video number
John's
3.
Cave in Lancashire, England. It's a vast cave network that spans a length of nearly 3 miles, or 4.8 kilometers. The known deepest section of this cave also goes down a staggering 690 feet, or 211 meters. Most members of this group had been spelunking for years, and like most other cave explorers, were quite confident in their skills. They had also done their
lack of
research and
light.
mapped out their route in advance. But the truth about caving is when things go wrong, no amount of planning can save you. Even the most
Exactly.
experienced and well-prepared explorers can find themselves in terrifying situations, which is exactly what happened to one of the members of this group, named
Yeah.
Bob Johnson. The expedition was going quite smoothly in the beginning, with the group using the equipment they brought with them to continue safely. That is, until they reached a section of the cave called the Tube. It was an unusually narrow section that required the cavers to crawl on their stomach. And to make matters worse, it was also partially submerged in water, making it difficult to both see and breathe. Despite these harsh conditions, the group decided to move ahead. The slimmest member of the group went first and successfully made it to the other side without much.
See, I just want to say, like, watching these videos just makes me realize, like, how big our planet is. Like, we've all seen the pictures from NASA and, like, you know, diagrams and everything, and it just looks so... It looks not that big, especially compared to other planets, but damn, when you put it in perspective at how deep our planet can go, or how far and how wide it is, like, damn. An ant, like, you feel like an ant, honestly. But I also just wanted to say, like, I don't want to be one of those people, but it is kind of obvious at this point. Like, I have not seen a single woman so far. Maybe from the one in earlier videos, I guess. But yeah,
Much trouble. The next person,
The first
however,
video.
wasn't as fortunate. This was Bob Johnson, the man we mentioned earlier. His crawl through the tube wasn't off to a good start, as he was already having issues with the comparatively wider sections of the passage.
it's too wide. No, what the hell?
He then somehow managed to reach the tightest part of this treacherous section. But that's
Is
where
that
his
the
luck ran
camera,
out.
man? Oh god.
He was completely stuck from the waist down, and any attempt to free himself only made the situation worse. Now, being stuck in a narrow cave like this is extremely stressful on its own. The walls close in on you, and every movement feels like it's pushing you further into the
Yeah.
tight space. Panic sets in as you realize just how little room you have to maneuver, and
Oh,
with
I'm
each failed attempt to
speechless.
free yourself, the fear intensifies. But as if the confined space wasn't enough to make his heart race, Bob now had to contend with something far more terrifying.
The water's
rapidly
rushing.
flowing water. Water makes any caving venture 10 times worse. In a dry cave, even if you're stuck, you still have time to think and plan your escape. But when water starts to rise, the situation shifts from bad to life-threatening. The feeling of water creeping up around you in an already claustrophobic space is a nightmare on its own. The real danger with water, however, is that you have mere minutes before drowning becomes a very real possibility. Bob knew this possibility all too well. He gave his all to free himself. Unfortunately, the water was quickly filling up his suit, making it even more difficult to squeeze through. But when the situation seemed hopeless, one of the members had an idea that ended up saving Bob's life.
Oh, thank
Instead
God.
of pushing forward, the members behind him tried pulling him back, and it worked.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it looks tight. Totally, I get it. Pull it! Pull it!
Bob was finally free, though his troubles weren't over.
Yeah.
He later revealed in a comment that him and the two members who pulled him back had crawled for another 3 hours to get out of the cave from a different exit. This incident also left him traumatized to the point where you can't even watch this video without becoming anxious.
Yeah, no
From what I
shit.
can find, he scaled back on caving and picked up a much safer hobby in cycling,
fucking
and now appears to
God.
be doing just fine.
Makes
On
me
the
feel like I'm
7th of
watching a
September
Louis Lane video.
2024, the
No,
Action
not that
Adventure
again.
Twins YouTube channel posted a video exploring a mysterious cave someone found on their property. This is the same channel we talked about earlier, where the two brothers got separated and almost lost their lives in the maze-like cave. They've learned their lessons since and approached this one with far more caution. But with an entrance as life-threatening as
that-
this one,
oh, God.
even the best precautions could have
Now
proven to
that
not
is
be
a serial
enough.
killer cave. I'm not
Alright,
even
so the guy
kidding.
dropped us off halfway up the hill.
The guy
and
dropped you off? What?
He doesn't know anybody who's been down this thing, but we were at the cave, He says he threw a rope down it with a rock and it was 200 feet deep before it stopped. So we got this stick here. We're gonna see if our rope reaches.
That just sounded like it fell right away.
It's still, oh,
It's still
you were right,
going.
it kept going.
This
can't tell where
alone
the
is
rope
enough
is.
to terrify most people, with one person stating,
This channel has
This
given
channel-
me a new. Oh,
has given me a new fear about walking in the woods. The fact that you could just slip and fall down a hole like that is insane. Now anytime I go anywhere, I wonder how many massive voids are right below my feet that I could fall into at any moment.
I am going to send this to my hiker friends. I mean, depends on the situation. I enjoy hiking, but there are people who enjoy it more than me, and honestly, I like being a little rascal. So yeah, let's do it for funsies.
But that didn't deter Edward and James. They quickly secured their rope
I feel like they're safe people, though. They tell people where they're going. They even post on their story, kind of to let the public know where they are. So if they do go missing, like there's a chance you'll find them. But knocking on wood. Oh my god, let me mute the mic so y'all don't hit your ear. Or this one. There we go.
to a nearby tree and began descending. I wonder how many massive
Back it up
voids
again,
are right
please.
below my feet that I could fall into at any moment. But that didn't deter Edward and James. They quickly secured their rope to a nearby tree and began descending into the steep cave. What they found inside was nothing short of breathtaking. That tiny opening gave way to a vast chasm.
Actually kind of pretty.
Oh, wow.
But imagine there are two people, like, okay, they are famous YouTubers, okay? Two people going down the cave all alone. Some random person who hates them just happens to be following them, cuts off that rope that they tied to the tree. What happens next? They're stuck.
Yeah.
Is it worth it for the view though? I don't think so. I mean, it's literally just rocks at the end of the day.
This is a big one, man.
However, before they could fully take in the beauty of the cavern,
Not even
things
any
took a dark
diamonds.
turn.
We
Just
find
seconds into the
diamonds.
cave, the two discovered what looked like human remains scattered throughout.
That's comforting. Human bones, huh? Dude, look behind you. There's like a little
Fossil?
shrine of them. There's like,
Oh.
that's a cranium.
Dude, is that a human?
I can't tell. I don't think so. That looks too big, right?
Round.
Yeah, that looks human, man.
I mean, they say human, but it looks
Necessarily made- I don't
too
know.
big.
I'm not a bone expert.
From there, they continued exploring the cave as it kept getting bigger the further they went into it. They also discovered old caving equipment like ropes and harnesses already secured to the walls, a detail that only deepened the mystery surrounding the bones they had found earlier. If they did belong to a person, as the two suspected, it was possible they belonged to a previous explorer. This explorer likely had an accident and died in the cave without ever making it out. On their way in, they did find scattered bones right below the entrance. These were likely the remains of people who accidentally fell into the otherwise unassuming hole.
Man,
However,
like
the
that
bones they found
comment.
further inside
so
were too far
sad.
from the entrance to have belonged to someone who simply fell in. It's also possible that these remains belonged to the victim of a deranged killer. Someone who either had ended a person's life within the cave, or maybe threw the person into the hole and later dragged their body further into the cave. Some people, however, weren't convinced and accused the
Okay,
brothers
let's
of
see.
faking the whole.
Fake, don't give in, guys. These YouTubers rig stuff up and get paid way too much money. Different YouTubers. Some pretty fake shit. Discovered human remains and just kept exploring. Not surprised. No mentioning. No, sorry. Yeah, no mentioning of contacting police. Bones in a very organized manner. Stinks of fake videos to me. Oh my god, the sun went down. I've been recording for like 38 minutes. Fake clickbait old videos. All videos are so badly faked. Lol, so fake you could tell by the way they talk. Like I said, don't give in, unsubscribe, making these fake guys rich. Oh, it's the same guy, Watered. I'm not reading all that. That's a long name to read.
whole thing, especially since the way Edward and James handled some of these remains felt a bit too casual. That's
See, exactly. If you see bone remains, nobody's gonna go touching them. Not a normal person, at least. Not me, because I hate the human body. Although I do like sex, but two different things, okay?
said.
Like the insides, I hate it. Outside, hell yes, man. Yes, women. Yeah.
While YouTubers faking these finds to get a viral video isn't uncommon, this one turned out to be true. The video received several comments from experts confirming that these remains were indeed real and human, with one
Okay. My girlfriend and I are watching from Canada. We're with paramedics. Definitely a human femur and a human cranium. Thanks for making the awesome content. See, I want to say, comment like these can be like faked, right? Just they can create a fake account and comment that, but obviously there should be a forensics team going down. Cops going down there, giving it to a forensics team to investigate or something like that, because these are people who died, whether they fell in, whether they killed themselves, whether they were kidnapped, murdered, tortured, and killed. Murdered, tortured, killed, right there. There are people who knew these people who died and they deserve closure. So that's why, like, maybe the cops found something, maybe they did report it to the cops, I don't know.
One such person writing, "My girlfriend and I are watching from Canada. We're both paramedics, definitely a human femur and a human cranium. But this raised an even bigger question. When did the owner of these bones pass away? If they disappeared into the cave in the last few decades, this discovery could end up cracking an unsolved case." I ended up contacting the Action Adventure twins to see what they had to say or if they had made any police reports afterwards. We ended up contacting the authorities about the bones. They were determined to be human and were apparently a Native American that either slipped and fell into the pit cave or was thrown in there after death and are 2,000 years old. While this did rule out the possibility that these bones belonged to someone more recent, the despair of whoever ended up in that cave alone 2,000 years ago.
Okay, but the way that the cranium and the femur and the other bone are kept on that, let's just call it pile of what? On that pile of rocks, it's like they were kept on display. It's like, you know, you pick something up and then you put it to a side, that kind of display, not a look at this fancy piece of speaker is on the desk.
Is just as impossible to ignore. Whoever ended up in that cave alone 2,000 years ago is just as impossible to ignore. They likely fell into the cave, somehow survived the fall, and ended up starving to death while looking for a way out.
You can survive that deep of a fall?
On October 28, 2004, 50-year-old Australian airline pilot and scuba diver David John Shaw broke the world record for the deepest successful dive in history. He achieved this by reaching a depth of 270 meters in Bushman's Hole, one of the deepest freshwater caves in the world. The sole purpose of this dive was to break the record. However, when he reached the bottom, he found something that stopped him in his tracks. He found the body of Dion Dreyer, a 20-year-old scuba diver who died in that cave 10 years ago.
Damn.
Since humans start sinking after a certain depth, Dion's body never floated back to the surface. Given the extreme difficulty and danger of diving this deep, any plans to retrieve his body were also cancelled at the time of his death. However, a plaque in his name was installed near the diving point of Bushman's Hole.
You know, I get that because from the time he went cave diving, right, or like in the freshwater diving, like underwater diving equipment like would have been advanced than it was like 10 years prior. So maybe that's why he found the body. I mean, yeah.
Which is how Dave knew what he was looking at. After staring at the body in shock for a few seconds,
look at how
Dave
dark it
immediately
is.
got closer and tried to retrieve Dion.
Honestly,
Unfortunately, after a decade in the water, his tanks were firmly stuck in the mud. More importantly, Dave had already spent too much time at that depth. Staying any longer would have been fatal. So he decided to tie a line to Dion's body and return to the surface with the newfound information.
Wasn't very
I can't
steep.
believe he would actually touch that. I don't know, I feel like so odd touching at that body.
I thought, oh, that's the end of going deep. So just tied my line to it. And by then I was, well, we won't discuss that. So I just flicked my line.
The news of Dion's body being discovered spread quickly, eventually culminating in Dave talking to his parents and promising to
Those are
retrieve
his
it.
parents.
After a couple months of preparation, the next dive was scheduled for January 8th, 2005. Unfortunately, Dave's
This
heroic
happened in
attempt
2000.
to bring closure to Dion's parents ended in a catastrophe far worse than anyone could have imagined.
Did Dave die?
Cave diving, aka underwater cave exploration, is far more dangerous than regular spelunking. The divers have to manage their oxygen levels at all times, avoid often sharp rock formations, and explore the cave system in a far darker environment because even the brightest flashlights aren't as effective underwater, all while making sure they don't get lost. Add in the immense pressure of 270 meters of water above, it becomes an almost insurmountable challenge, one that only a handful of people on the planet are capable of overcoming.
Mermaids.
So everything needed to be perfect
I
for
believe
Dave's
in them.
operation to succeed. He worked with police divers, the defense force, and the medics to ensure everything went smoothly, and they planned the dive second by second. According to the plan, Dave would use the line he tied earlier to reach Dion's body. After cutting it loose and putting it in a special body bag, he would begin his descent. This descent would have taken around 12 hours to avoid decompression sickness. So instead of holding on to Dion's body the entire time, Dave would pass it along to his longtime friend Don Shirley at 220 meters. Don would then hand it over to support divers located at various depths and keep checking on Dave for any issues. Sadly, this is not how it went. An hour and a half after the dive began, the surface crew received an ominous message from the support divers, claiming that they hadn't seen any activity from Dave or Don. Shortly after, another message reached the surface. This one was from Don, stating that he's seeing Dave in the distance, and he's not moving.
Don's okay. Dave's okay.
While this message was making its way to the surface, Don tried to reach Dave himself. He exceeded his target depth, which resulted in his rebreather controller imploding. This also led to him suffering from oxygen poisoning and vomiting while 220 meters under the water. Fortunately, he managed to keep hold of the line and was eventually pulled out of the water still breathing. Dave, however, didn't make it. But when rescue teams pulled out his body, they made a shocking discovery. Dion's body was attached to the recovery line as well. Following the recovery, investigators looked at the footage captured by the waterproof camera mounted on Dave's head. This is what they saw. Though I should mention, I couldn't find the raw footage from that camera. The only clip of it online is narrated by Don himself, Dave's best friend who we just talked about, who almost died trying to save his life. The footage shows Dave moving alongside the line to find Dion's body, and then trying to put it in the bag. Unfortunately, this is where the plan started falling apart. Dion's body was unexpectedly loose from the mud and was moving around uncontrollably. Dave tried to complete his mission despite this, only to end up getting tangled in the line.
This line is just getting everywhere because this body is floating. It's not stuck. Everything's moving. Right. Light gets caught on the line there. Move it out of the way. Still got a nice bright light.
All this effort caused him to neglect his gauges, resulting in Dave feeling the effects of nitrogen narcosis, which include poor judgment, trouble concentrating, and reduced muscle and nerve function. Put simply, he lost everything he needed to survive at that depth. He tried to cut the tangled line, but the lack of coordination made it near impossible. As he was struggling to stay conscious, the last thing he saw was the terrifying view of Dion's lifeless face mask staring back at him. Shortly after this, Dave passed away. The only silver lining was that the tangled line kept Dion's body close to Dave, allowing him to successfully complete his mission by recovering the body, only at the cost of his own life.
That's also a scary video. What the fuck is that? Why does it look so creepy? Okay, let's watch something happy because of the fuck. Perfect. Okay. That's Genshin. There's some happiness. The leaked email. Okay, SAG after shit. Y'all, I am scared. That last one was so sad. No wonder it was #1. What? That's why you don't do underwater diving. But my question is, why didn't they just like pull on the line after they discover? I mean, you know, after he tied his body up, like, I guess they didn't want to spread up the body, maybe, I don't know. But a little pulling and like a little struggle would have like unhinged the body from where it was stuck. Like, it was stuck to the, I want to call it, oh my god, oxygen tank. I wanted to call it jetpack, but yeah, oxygen tank. So couldn't they just like shimmy it out by pulling on the rope a little? I'm confused. But damn, oh my god. And just imagine what the parents must be going through, like asking the guy to retrieve his body, and then like turns out the guy dies. The guilt they must be feeling. Holy shit. What a heavy video today. I was not expecting this. Oh, how did Lazy find those light-hearted, less scary videos like the ones he did? Oh my god. Okay, but the background music for today is going to be New Start by Sakura Girl, so that should like keep it chilly. Okay. You know what? Let's just watch a short video to lighten things up.
Slutty waist, bro. My waist, honestly. There are times where you like look at yourself in the mirror, right? After you come back from the gym and you're like, holy damn, you know what? Maybe I would fuck myself. And that's not even like a narcissistic thing. It's just like,
It's
wow,
just-
that's just
yeah.
like, holy I love myself. It's like you're gassing yourself up. That's it. It's not narcissistic. No,
Like when
it's
you
just
see a booty
you
get
guys don't
bigger,
get
like,
it, alright? See,
damn.
it's the problem. You guys think self-love, narcissism are the same thing. It's like narcissism is different. It's like narcissism is when you're hanging, like, you're always looking at yourself in the mirror. You always want to talk about yourself, right? You always got to bring yourself up as the topic of every conversation whenever you're collabing with people or hanging out with friends. You always got to make it about yourself. You don't like that guy. Let's say you're trying to talk about what's going on your day or your week, and then that one guy shows up and like brushes it off and then is like, oh, let me tell you about what's going on with me. Everyone gives him this.
We all know that one person. Maybe you are that person, and if you know somebody and you don't like them, maybe it's because you feel like they're stealing your spotlight, okay? We all know a narcissist.
Side eye, right? I'm just saying I've dealt with it before. I know what it looks like. It's annoying. It's annoying as fuck. Slutty waist, bro.
It is annoying as fuck, but he is right. Sometimes you'll after you look at yourself in the mirror after a good ass workout and you see like, oh my god damn, I'm getting pecs, oh my god damn, are these abs coming up now? Is that a V-line? Is my booty getting big? I lost my double chin. Holy shit, I would want to make out with myself. Damn, I want to squeeze that ass. Damn, I want to squeeze those pecs. I want to whatchamacallit? Waterboard those abs, whatever that. Yeah, stuff like that. You want to like appreciate your hard work. But this video has been 51 minutes long, so I will end it over here, and tomorrow we will check out, or actually maybe day after tomorrow, we will check out Gnarly by Cat Eye, because I saw a video about somebody on Cat Eye. I will post it when I post the video, and oh my god, I'm so excited because I love Cat Eye. And also Hyuna released Mr. Nail, so I'm excited for that too. I know people think the other ways of her, and like some people love her. I personally like her. I have not looked into her conspiracy that like deeply, so I don't want to ruin my image fantasy. Yeah, I don't want to ruin my fantasy. Ignorance is bliss, so I'm gonna be ignorant. Anyways, thank you for stopping by. Bye bye, good night, pieces, and like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah, the same old thing every YouTuber says. Okay, bye.